Soon as we're done. Hello. Hey, there we
Hey, we are live. But we are live. We're back again. Finally. Sorry, it was all pretty much my fault, guys, for traveling and going to conferences on the other side of the world where time zones just don't work and all that good stuff. But we should be back consistently now for a prolonged period of time because it's coming up to winter and all that stuff. But today's topic, we are going to be talking a bit about personal branding, which us two guys have done a little bit of. But before we go into that, we are also sponsored by The News Guy, also, which helps his personal branding and getting his name out there. So check it out. The link is below.
Yeah.
Yeah, Randy, you're a guy that we've seen over the last few years, building that personal brand and getting out there and sponsoring events, speaking at events, putting that face on your website and
a beautiful baldness. Yeah.
Oh, Holly is here as well.
Oh, Holly. All right, Holly.
Hey, I don't know how long I'll be here. We have our electrician here and our power's been coming on and off. So if I go out, I go out. Can't do anything about it.
No worries. God.
You look a little spooky. I haven't seen you for a little bit, but you look a little like Halloween. Like, bring on the Halloween, baby.
Oh, yeah, we're back at the house now, so I'm in my dungeon.
All right.
The dungeon.
Well, good to see you, Holly.
Yes.
Yeah.
The famous dungeon.
So talking about personal brands today. Good stuff. Craig, you were going down until before Holly came on and talking about brands. So for me anyway, so I've really been very intentional about trying to build the personal brand and trying to do a few things. And I thought it would be kind of an interesting conversation because I know you've been talking about it at some of the places you've been presenting, Craig. And I think it's always good to go revisit, especially this particular subject, because one, I think it does take a strategy, and then as well, it's just always constantly changing a little bit, or you always got to kind of do a little tweaking around it. And then, until you, I don't know if there really, do you think there's really an end point?
I'm not so sure there is an end point, because even now I'm still trying different ways and different things to grow your personal brand, and even like what Holly does and stuff. Even utilizing Reddit, the goal here is to make sure you're getting people coming to you from multiple traffic sources. So, obviously, you video is a big thing now, and things are a lot more visual. And I think sometimes you have to put your face out there, whether it be a video or whatever it's going to be. So all we really want is exposure. But the main reason that I talk about it, one of the big questions that I get asked a lot from people is, how the hell do you get new clients? How do you win more business? And that comes down to personal branding. I know Holly or yourself or whoever that's kind of built a personal brand to some degree can go and make money doing whatever they like. Holly could go make money, bang, like that tomorrow. And people say, how the fuck's that so easy for her? It's not been that easy, because she's spent years doing the speaking, herself out there and sitting on these types of things. And it's the same with yourself. So people think money comes easy. They don't remember the hours and cost of going to events and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's very easy to sit there and go, just go fucking build a personal brand, but it's not that easy. There's a lot of cost, a lot of time, a lot of perseverance, and it wasn't always the case that we could just go out and shove out a deal and make money. So I try and emphasize that message. You have to fucking put some time and effort in as well. And we're YouTube, Facebook, conferences, podcasts, whatever. So yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, just in a pure time standpoint, and length of time, and by no means do I think I have landed anywhere, and especially, compared to the two of you. But even to where I am today, I mean, I've started trying to think about building a brand since 2019, probably, and thinking like, and then my focus was like building the agency side, 38 Digital Market. And then just even in the last almost 2 years now about doing the news guy. So, that's just takes a lot of time even to get anywhere in it. I mean, like Craig, you've been Craig Campbell SEO for 20 years. What?
I had an agency before that where I stupidly hid behind it. I didn't want to be the personal brand. I just couldn't be asked with the hassle and all that kind of stuff. And then I had to become the personal brand because I just felt that video was becoming popular and stuff. So when I gave up the agency, Matthew Woodward was the kind of guy I always followed in the SEO space. I'm like, fuck, got to kind of follow what this guy's doing. And way out my comfort zone. And I'm pretty sure both of you guys will confirm as well. Like, you go and talk on a stage or you do that stuff. It's not actually nice and enjoyable. There's nerves and, you are way out your comfort zone as well. But I felt that was just a choice that I made. I wanted a shot of it, and hopefully it's worked out reasonably well. I know not everyone likes me, but but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. It's work. I don't know. Holly, I mean, do you in the industry, everybody, I don't care who I would ever, they know your name. They know Holly Starks. Yes.
Yeah, it's a little annoying, actually, to be honest. So,
but you really, and maybe I'm wrong about it, but I don't know that you really put effort into.
No, I don't put any effort in at all. In fact, I
don't know.
I don't even know how it happened, to be honest.
Did you ever put effort into?
No, never. I don't know how it happened. It was, I went on, like back in 2014 when my first course came out, I did like 4 or 5 webinars and we didn't have a course set up. I didn't even there's my dog. Yes. So even to this day, my original course is on someone else's platform because I was like, I don't know how to build a website. Probably still today, I probably don't know how to build a website. But yeah, I mean, the problem with my brand is that it's my name, that they want me. I can't sell Holly Starks without Holly Starks going, which is, a super issue if I ever want to get out of the business. Like I've had a website and I've had my regular business name. And nobody even knows what my actual business name is. They just look up Holly Starks. So I'm like, okay, well, the business is Holly Starks. It's not the other name. So yeah, I don't know how it happened, but I mean, I think that it was like once I started going on stage, the first time I was on stage was at Vid Summit, and then it was Rock Stars. And then the following year I did like little mini meetups, like that were like actual business meetings, like like, I don't know, it was like 10 people that were in this like SEO meetup thing, and they flew me out and I talked for 45 minutes about YouTube. So when I started, YouTube wasn't a thing for people to be promoting. It was a new thing. So people wanted me on stage because I was really the only person who was doing so much and at scale with YouTube. And now it's entirely different. Everyone is you know, Matt Diggity is talking about, you know, the new way going forward is promoting through YouTube. We have Julian on YouTube, we have Craig on YouTube, we have Chris on YouTube. Everyone is on YouTube. So for me, my space isn't necessarily YouTube anymore because there's just everyone is like an expert on it. So I have to find my own space again, I guess.
We fucking took it over, flung her out the way. I'm only kidding.
I don't even know about necessarily saying, you know, to be the expert on YouTube, but I just think that everybody, it is the space to be right now, I think.
It's actually not. In my opinion, it's actually not.
You don't think? What do you think now?
I think it's going to change based on what Google is giving love to. It has been giving it to forums and Reddit and Quora. So you can still do your videos. You can, but you're not, if you're not linking out of it from Reddit, I don't think you're being very productive. I mean, yes, YouTube works. Yes, YouTube will give you traffic. That's perfectly fine. But if you can do the same thing and rank in a few hours on Reddit and just push them to your YouTube video, within other than like trying to rank your YouTube video and taking however long it takes these days, I'm very much an easy, like, I don't want to do very much thinking. So once I find something, I'm just going to attack that. And right now it's Reddit, and I don't see it changing, at least for a while.
So
I mean, you can siphon. I mean, like you make a dumb post, and we got like 200,000 views off a post last night. You can't do that on YouTube, not without the traffic.
But that's different, though. So if you're talking about kind of driving traffic and such, and I guess what I'm thinking about is really building the personal brand, not necessarily.
But you can build that brand on Reddit. You take the same concept. You post videos still, but you post them on Reddit. So you're making your brand wherever Google is telling you the traffic's at. So that's what I mean. I think that's what my brand is going where the traffic is. I'm creating, if this is where people are searching for SEO, then I'm going to make my brand on Reddit. And when Reddit goes away, if it's back on TikTok, then we'll make a brand on TikTok. Wherever it's at is where I'm going to brand myself.
Right. So interesting. That's an interesting thought about that. In my mind, I'm thinking about, you know, if you're starting out, what are you going to do and what should you do and where should you place your time and energies on? Like if I just go and I do a search on Google for Craig Campbell SEO, right? So the Craig Campbell brand.
Yeah.
You know, and I look up there. Now, Craig, I know you have a Reddit, right? I don't know if you do much posting on it at all, but you know, I do know you've got a Reddit, Craig Campbell SEO subreddit, I think.
Yeah, he's number 3.
Now, so if I go and search, I'm looking at it, it's like the Craig Campbell website, his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter.
Did you type in Craig Campbell SEO?
I did. That's exactly what I did. And then what is this Craig Campbell Mastermind and Podia? I haven't seen Podia in a long time kind of pop up.
Andy. Oh, yeah. Podia's for the training courses, but you're in the fucking mastermind. The URL for the mastermind as well.
Yeah. And then Craig-Campbell-SEO.com. I don't know.
That's fucking Julie. That's someone trying to troll me. It's one of those motherfuckers. I've done that.
But that's on the first page.
Yeah.
But nowhere is your Reddit, is what I was essentially what I was making at, is that still the first things that pop up is your very branded personal website, the CraigCampbellSEO.com, and then your YouTube channel, and then a number 3 videos, which I'm sorry, it's not me on here, but But and then other stuff, your social profiles.
It's one of those things. I kind of agree with Holly to some degree, that there's traffic everywhere. You don't have to fully focus on YouTube, for example. Now, I do personally have a lot of emphasis in YouTube because it's working for me, and I enjoy it as well. But Pinterest and Reddit are two of those platforms that I've just never ever been able to master. Obviously Holly's went over and does a lot of testing and blows shit up and gets all deep and dirty with Reddit or whatever she gets her teeth into, and I'm fully aware of. I see, I hear, I watch people and the traffic they get from Reddit, and it's insane. And like Holly says, if you can get 200,000 hits overnight from Reddit, who's fucking doing it wrong? You getting that from LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram? Probably not. It's one of those things that those other platforms are platforms that I built up over years, and I'm not just going to fucking turn my back on it. But Reddit's one that's relatively untapped for me, which I think's stupid on my part, because obviously Google have invested in it and whatever else, and it's working really, really well right now. So is that something people should be also emphasizing their personal brand on? Absolutely. There's a hell of a lot of traffic there.
There's so many stupid ass rules with Reddit, and it changed from what we had a couple weeks ago, and it's changed just from a couple weeks ago. So I mean, if you're gonna get in the Reddit game, man, you better have some. You better be ready to have to rebuild very quickly. Let's just say that, because they can come out. They did it to me just I think 2 weeks ago. They just suspended every single account I had. I haven't lost
really?
In,
wow.
I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 months. Suspended every single account I had. I had a lot of accounts, and you just have to rebuild it, or you just give up, right? So I just have been rebuilding it, and then they figured out how I was rebuilding. Well, I shouldn't say me, but they figured out spamming ways of rebuilding, and then they knocked out those accounts again. So yeah, now we're doing okay. We have a couple hundred accounts and going good again. But yeah, it's not a game to play if you're not okay with having to start over a few times.
Right. I'm just trying to find. So would you think, you have me curious. You mentioned Holly, and I haven't thought about doing it this way. And I don't know, Craig, if you've done any of this, like take a bunch of your video content and post it up on Reddit, even just to get content flowing up there.
I think my video editor does my Reddit, but we do it with other platforms.
Craig, you haven't posted on your Reddit in a year, unless he has a different one. Unless you have a different one than the subreddit that I found for you, in which case then you need to take over that one. But I mean, it's Reddit as just a backlinking source is super powerful. You don't have to worry about even getting traffic for it. If you just did a few posts and just did URL, naked backlinks back to your website and back to your video, you'll see a boost in traffic. You'll see a boost in keywords coming in with Ahrefs. So, I mean, you don't even have to be as aggressive as I have been. Just post the videos.
Look at this plonker. I hosted a live session on YouTube just 2 days ago, and I had an average of 20 live viewers throughout the entire 1 hour session. Well, we've already quadrupled that, so I don't know what your point is.
I haven't looked to see on YouTube. I don't know, Craig, you can see on your end with all of the stuff, right? But, yeah.
63 actually right now, so trebled it. But yeah.
But that's sort of the problem when you're starting to brand. Like, it's so hard to, if you're in the mix with, like, say SEO, if you're in SEO with a bunch of other people, that you have to give them a reason to look at your videos, right? So if you're covering stuff that everyone else is covering, you're not going to be seen. So you have to get out there. You have to make a splash. You're going to have to piss off somebody. You're going to have to try to take out someone's rankings and not in a negative SEO by doing it like a legitimate way, and then talk about it and not be scared about whatever's going to happen. Because if you want to be seen, then you better do something to be seen. You're not going to be seen if you're just the average Joe.
Yeah. But
you will be seen if you're average Joe on Reddit, because you can make a post and it will be in people's feed. It's not like these are the best accounts, so we're only going to show these in the feed for you. It doesn't work like that. So if you want to start off making a personal brand, and even if you have a personal brand and you're struggling getting views, just make a couple posts. Just go and answer people's questions. And do a naked link or just a brand mention back to your website, and you'll start getting traffic. It might not be like crazy, like what I'm talking, 200,000, but you can do a brand new account. And if you understand how Reddit works, you can get thousands of views overnight. But it's the work you put in to understand it.
I think you made a good comment, which is you have to look at where Google is sending traffic, or where traffic is flowing on the net right now. And you are right. Reddit, Quora, the forums, I mean, they're getting a ton of exposure on first page of search, just about for anything except Craig Campbell SEO. But
you know what? It's funny because I looked at my phone and I've looked at a couple of my servers and I see him there. So, it just might be coming in and out. It's the way it is.
So
it's not something I put any real effort into. It's literally not something my video person was doing, and I actually said stop it because I wasn't doing it right. So yeah, that's something I probably have to revisit.
But Holly, you kind of think. So, Craig, you just said about not doing it right, but Holly, you kind of think like you just need to start posting.
Yeah, you just need to start posting. Just go in and answer people's questions, and just start posting about, case studies. Craig, you have tons of case studies. You can go in every single day and just, be like, hey, me and Randy and Holly had this talk. Me and Chris are going live, and just post your video. Yeah. And if you post it in something like digital marketing or SEO, post it in different groups, because maybe SEO won't allow it, but digital marketing subreddit will.
Right.
And so those people will be able to come and view it. And even if they remove it after a few hours, it's fine, because you're doing it right before the video. You're not doing it like hours before, where you're going to get spam complaints. Yeah. So if you're just doing it just for yourself, just making posts, that's going to work perfectly fine.
Now, what about on your own? So when we're talking about, building your personal brand, part of that is building your online presence. So, with Craig has his own Craig Campbell SEO subreddit.
Yeah.
What kind of content should he be posting in that?
My honest answer is that I go to Perplexity AI and I type in like all these different SEO terms that already is ranking for Perplexity. So we go to Ahrefs per Perplexity and filter out your keywords and see what SEO is already ranking for. Same with Reddit. And then just post, put that in like whatever. In Perplexity, put it in AI, put in u.com, and just get a article about SEO and copy and paste it out and link out to your video. I mean, like, I do not think much about, I don't think anything. I have a very simple process of it. and just have one article a day. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what you would put up in your sub. Right. So almost similar, but it's a longer form content than what you would do, say, like on Twitter or something, though.
Yeah. I mean, if you're answering questions, right, you're going to do shorter and say, hey, or, I have a blog post or something. That would be a good way to get Redditors over to your site. So on my own post, I might do a longer. If I'm trying to get them over to a site, I will do a blog post, or I'll do a graphic, or do something like that to get people off of Reddit going to where I want them to go to. But really, it's just posting about, you're supposed to be, the expert in YouTube. So then be the expert in YouTube and post every day about it, or post about a few hours. And you can even link out to other people's YouTube videos. It's just getting that account active and getting people getting eyes on it. And the brand mentions, like Google will see those brand mentions, even if you don't link out. It's perfectly fine. Just put Craig Crample SEO, and the brand mentions will help. Just the brand mentions itself.
So I think, build the online strategy, right? Your presence. We could probably all pretty much maybe agree on some of those platforms. I think you have to be on, right? I think you got to be on. Well, I think you got to be on YouTube, got to be on LinkedIn, got to be on X, got to be on Instagram.
Yeah.
Holly says Instagram, TikTok. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to be on there, right? Because the same video. So, if you're on YouTube anyways, then why the hell are you not on Instagram and on TikTok, and you're making podcast of your audio? Why aren't you using that same content? Because you're already doing it on YouTube. It doesn't matter if you don't get any traffic on Instagram or TikTok or podcast.
Right.
It's about building that brand, right? So you have to build those, because when this goes down, because it will, you can back it up by going over here.
Yes.
So to me, it's just common marketing. If I'm building a video, I'm building it across all of these networks. And I don't care if I don't get any views on it, because it doesn't matter. Right.
Well, I would agree. I don't know. You don't think Instagram, Craig?
I just think Instagram is the worst one in terms of traffic. Certainly for me, I just think there's certain people who do well on Instagram, and you don't really see SEOs getting a lot of traffic from it. It's more people, I don't know, hairdressers and something that's a lot more visual. And I'm not disagreeing. I think, covering all bases, I do it. I just think the traffic that comes from Instagram is probably the worst out of them all.
But your Instagram shouldn't. It should be like pictures of, you're already doing it. You're taking pictures of you traveling and taking pictures of you on stage. You're already building it. You're just not using the Instagram. So Instagram doesn't have to be used as.
Oh no, I do use it, but
but you probably don't get much traffic out of it, right?
Yeah.
But once it, at whatever point it does take off, and whatever point that Google says, hey, we're not giving love to Reddit, we're going to buy into Instagram because maybe we want to use Instagram's AI crap, then they're going to give love again to Instagram. So if you're already uploading and you have your guy uploading, it's just one more site.
Right.
So you might as well. And you might not get any traffic on it for 2 years.
Well, I would agree, because I think if you're talking about building your brand, you want as many high-profile branded foundations as you can get, right? So all of those things, they're all super solid. And then I think you essentially, as Holly had stated, you're kind of digging a moat around your brand. And so if you've got all of those things, if one of them kind of essentially gets taken over or not taken over, but kind of goes sideways and dies off, you've got the other brand property, so to speak, to drive traffic and awareness on whatever it is that you're, for me, selling press releases, right? Or whatever. I was writing myself a note because I don't have an Instagram. I don't have a TikTok. I need to set up a subreddit of my brand as well. So shit, I
And
gotta
a
get
pin
going.
page. Like I
What?
don't like any of these platforms. I hate these platforms. I hate that I
Oh,
get
I do.
alerts all day long.
Yeah.
YouTube is stupid. I don't like any of these platforms, but I know that my brand is out there and that I need to be there. So
Mm.
it would be different. Like if I had like 6 platforms, right? And I was doing one video for each platform, I'd be like, hell no, that's too much work. But if you're using one video and you can strip the audio by doing podcasts too, then why aren't you doing it? Because because when you look up Craig Campbell SEO, those top pages should be your website and all your social media.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's what you should have. So if you don't have that and you already have the content, then why aren't you? It just naturally comes, it might take a while. It's going to take a while if you're, a new person, but it's going to be a lot easier if you use things like Reddit and like Twitter and just post the stupid crap that you have to post.
I was kind of shocked, Craig, just to use you as our guinea pig on here. I was shocked just looking at this real quick that you're. Now I'm going to do it incognito to see if it changes at all. But your Facebook page is, there's your Reddit, finally hits on the second page. But your Facebook page is like on the third page of search.
So here's the thing with Facebook. Facebook done a change maybe about, 6 months or a year ago, where you could basically use your own personal profile as a page now. So I don't really bother with the fucking page anymore because you can boost posts on your personal profile now. Whereas before, if you wanted to do any kind of post boosting or whatever, I would always do it on the page. So the Facebook page is not as active. So the problem is my profile has something like 42,000 followers and the page has 24,000. So I was just like, fuck.
Yeah, 20, almost 25. Yeah.
So I'm just like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I still post on the page like, oh, we're live or whatever. But yeah, I'm not doing too much in terms of the Facebook page. And what I've also seen as well, see a lot of the people who've, even on my Facebook personal profile, a lot of these are SEO people who I've met at conferences and would consider friends. Do they really want to see me talking about SEO? Do they? Right. I said it before. If I post a picture of me and my son out, that will get way more engagement than me talking about SEO, just because I think Facebook, the audience there, they don't need to hear, we're talking live on a Monday or whatever. Now, I still do it, but it doesn't get any fucking engagement because no one fucking cares. That's the bottom line. So certainly no one cares from the people that I've met and all that kind of stuff. And as I say, a lot of those guys are all people I've met, over the years.
I like you get that Inc.com profile page.
Oh yeah, $50 a year, dude.
I know it. Exactly. That's a great little, and it's a good link too.
I shouldn't have fucking said that out loud. Everyone's going to fucking jump on it now.
But it is a good link. Yeah. Interesting.
Like, all right. Craig, I don't see any audio. Are you on Spotify?
I'm going to, I need to come up with a name. So I was on for my podcast before, but I've recently relaunched my podcast and I'm going to call it something different. So we're going to upload a lot of shit to Spotify and stuff and distribute it out there. So again, something, I stopped the podcast for a while. I was just getting fed up of talking to fucking SEO people, in all honesty, and wanted
But
something.
you don't have to with AI now.
Oh my gosh, yeah. There's so much stuff. Using that notebook LM, is that LM or LK? What is
LM.
that? LM.google.com. Craig, I think I don't know if you saw it in our group or at all, but I put that up about 2 weeks ago. Like when I first landed, I'm like, oh my God, this thing is like crazy. And the audio that produces, that audio, that conversational, it is really good.
Yeah.
The problem, there's a few problems with it, right?
Well,
it's
yeah.
always the same woman and man. Yours, everyone. So it's very easy now to look at.
Yeah.
You recognize it, right?
Yeah, you get no control over it.
Yeah, so that's an issue. And you can edit it, but it's still an issue. So, and then a really big issue is the time, because like I'm doing ones that are 9 minutes, and on Buzz, like you're only allowed 3 hours, I think, in the 30 days without upgrading to the next package. So that 9 minutes is, I have a lot of websites I'm doing. So that's not going to work. So I have to either, it's cool. It gives you a nice script that I can take to 11 Labs.
Right.
And then I'll just make my own podcast, and I can just cut out the crap that you don't need. Like, I don't like the fluff. I don't need to have fluff in the podcast, because I'm not doing it for the podcast. I'm not doing it for traffic. I'm doing it for the brand mentions of the website.
Right.
So, Craig, I'm going to ask you next month. I'm going to say, did you do the audio? Did you get the podcast up there?
Oh, we are definitely doing it. It's actually me, because I was in the Philippines, it's holding it up. My person's like, dude, you need to fucking pick a name for the fucking podcast. And that's
you can't just call it Craig Campbell SEO, huh?
No, because I don't.
That's your brand.
No, but this is the problem, Holly. I don't want to just have SEOs on it. I'm trying to get like business or investors or people talking about slightly broader audience. So I don't want it to be Craig Campbell SEO.
Yeah, I get you. Like the ones that we just made this last weekend, we didn't have anything with Starks Publishing, Cooper, whatever. Not because I didn't want my name on it, because I am the author, so you can catch me by the author. But yeah, I'm gonna ask you in 2 weeks.
We'll come back. We'll hit you.
Did you get it up there?
I will tell you, there is a great strategy. You know what ranks always? What ranks is SoundCloud. You can throw
always ranks. Yeah.
You could throw up one of those things through that notebook LM, create an audio, and then whether you want to do it as a brand, whether you want to do it just from a pure link, anything, but that's SoundCloud. Like, give it a day, boom, there it is.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I'm going to do it tonight, because I'm sitting in a hotel and you motherfuckers are not going to beat me. I am going to sort the podcast out tonight, because otherwise I will fucking forget. So there
we go.
All right. And then you'll tell us the name of it, and I'll do a little Reddit pushing, and then you're like, holy shit, Holly, it's got like 100,000 downloads. I'm like, I know, baby.
Yeah. Well, you got to get it up. You got to get it engaged then, right? And get it on a platform and start distributing.
Are you doing it for the engagements? Or are you doing it for the brand? Or are you doing it for the linking, right? Because it doesn't really matter if you have downloads, if you're just doing it for brand or for it does, but it doesn't. It'll just grow based on episodes. You know what I mean? So
I've got Randy. So to answer your question in terms of content, Dan Pena.
Dan Pena was great. I love that. That was a good. I watched that on YouTube.
So
you had an interesting look about you, by the way, Craig.
I was just miffed. You're just like, I've met some crazy people in the SEO space, but Dan is way above and beyond anyone I've ever fucking met, man. He's just insane. You're just sitting there like, fucking hell. Honestly, you're just, and I don't know, it's just weird. And then you leave and you're like, fuck, was I really there? Did I really hear this shit? Like, in the first 5 minutes, he was talking about getting his cock sucked off a fat bitches from Scotland, and I'm like,
I know.
it put it through me, and I'm like, fuck, this is going to fucking demonetize this fucking thing. And then I don't even ask him about climate change, and he talks about fucking climate change, and I'm like, so I've got a warning under the video talk saying this video talks about climate change. I'm like, fucking hell. So you then can't go and do YouTube promotion on that because you
No,
fucking
you
talk
can't
about
either. I know
fucking-
it.
So you're sitting there on the inside going, he's either fucking either crazy or he is doing that so that I don't get any views. What the fucking hell is going on? Like,
Well, that was a great interview, and that was not SEO based. So
Yeah.
is that you've got other content like that though that you
Yeah.
can like, okay, boom, let's
yeah.
throw it out. Yeah, because that was good. Yeah, that was very interesting. That's funny you say that about you can't promote it as well, because I had Merlino on my show last Tuesday. I went to go try to promote it. It's like, they're like, no, that's not gonna work.
Fucking
Hey,
yeah.
guys, I'm gonna cut out because they're going to hit our power in 2 minutes. So
Okay.
I will see you guys next Monday.
All
Yes.
right. Sounds good. Thanks, Allie. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is funny as hell.
But these are the small things as well that you just learn along the way when you're doing these things, YouTube or whatever. There's just certain rules. Like Holly says, there's little nuances within Reddit.
Yeah.
Little things like that on YouTube as well, which people don't realize and don't talk about. And then you do it and you're like, you motherfucker.
I know. I know.
What
I
is
wanted to ask Holly before she got off. I wanted to ask her, maybe any of the listeners, if you guys know of anything, is there any platform that you can automate posting on Reddit? I was just looking at several of the things that we use for auto posting on things, and none of them that we are currently using does. And I thought, I wonder if there is, or if you have to, or if you can even do something like, a make, or I don't know if Zapier does, but and I'm gonna go. I want to see if there's one other. Account settings, publishing settings. I gotta see if there's one other one that I wanted to connected profiles. Do you know of anything, Craig, that auto posts to Reddit?
I'm the wrong guy, but Darren Muzzy says in the
Oh,
chat.
Darren says there is.
Right. Tell us, Darren.
Yeah, tell us, Darren, because I'm just kind of looking right now to see. I wanted to see if I use Vista Social a lot as a good posting platform. That thing does just about anything.
Let us know, Darren. I'm eager.
Yeah.
In MM or here. Yeah, share it here. Fuck it.
What's that?
Darren's asking, should I share it in here or in the mastermind?
Yeah, right here, Darren. We got the question going on. Is there something? That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, we're waiting. I'm like holding my breath. I don't know why some of these things are so. Why do they make it so hard? Crap. Quick ad. Maybe that's what I. Social.
I think my pause.
Yeah, Social Vista does as well. So Social Vista will do a Reddit. Social Vista, you should look at that. I think I've threw that out to you guys before. It does. I don't know if I can I post in here myself? I got to connect my YouTube. Yeah, social, or I'm sorry, not Social Vista, VistaSocial.com. VistaSocial.com. It I'm just looking at it. It does 20 different post areas that you can auto post out to, and schedule posts, I should say, um, to put out there. That's pretty Pinterest, Snapchat, TikTok, Yelp,
Oh,
TripAdvisor,
does it do Instagram?
Instagram, business, creator, and personal.
Because Instagram's always been the one a lot of the tools couldn't post to, which is a pain in the ass. I don't know why that was the case, but I've tried a lot of these tools, and Instagram's the one that always.
And it does Facebook pages, profiles, and groups as well.
I'll have a look.
Yeah. So take a look at that Vista Social. Yeah, being that I already use it. I think what I'm going to do as well. So Holly got me rolling. So my person on our team that does all of the scheduled posts and everything for us, she uses we use Vista Social for it. And so I think I'm going to have her start doing, some posts up there on Reddit, then create a Reddit.
Darren Muzzy says Facebook groups they've stopped.
So on the social or on back under the topic of the personal brands, Craig, what do you think has been the most impactful strategy that you've implemented, to build up Craig Campbell?
I mean, YouTube's up there. I've done a lot of SEMrush webinars in my earlier days, which got me massive amounts of exposure to the SEMrush audience. Speaking at events was massive. Right. All of that kind of stuff combined. But I'd say the biggest, most impactful thing would have been either my YouTube or doing the SEMrush webinars back in the day, because I was literally nobody, and then getting the exposure to such a wide audience with SEMrush was massive for me, and kind of got me a hell of a lot of other opportunities that came thereafter. So between those two, that was it. And I don't know why or how I got the SEMrush thing. I spoke at an event and someone reached out and they're like, really liked your presentation. We would like to have you doing a webinar. And then from there, I ended up being a host of the webinar and all of that kind of stuff. So it was just one of those kind of luck things as well. And I think luck, well, you can call it luck, you can call it what you like, but you've just got to put yourself out there and opportunities will arise. And, SEMrush came along, and that, as I say, was probably one of the bigger ones. And then from there, you're doing your social media. I hosted my own conferences. I've done local meetups. I've done a combination of everything, really, to hone my teeth in terms of speaking. And because you know what it's like, Randy, you put yourself out there. Sometimes, if you've only done 4 or 5 of them, the nerves still kick in. So I usually do monthly, locally at meetups in front of 50 or 100 people. And that was allowing me to, because we used to record them so that I could look at it and go, you fucking bastard, why are you speaking like that? Or why are you and all the time? And, because I can be critical of myself and use that. So, all of that kind of stuff was all done, obviously, to build a personal brand, but cut my teeth and feel more comfortable when I'm speaking.
Well, I tell you, and this is the thing, and I absolutely give you credit for this, or props for it, is that you have done a really nice job of like continuing to work and build your, whether it's call it your stage presence if you want, but your presentation skills, but just like what you were just saying right there, that you are going to and do it every month out in front of people just to get more comfortable with being up. But I know that you've been doing comedic lessons, right? And kind of building so that you can just be more comfortable and kind of adding some comic kind of element, and not element might be, but just being able to add a little bit more into your presentation, I think is really good. But it all drives back to the point. I think you just are always constantly working at different skills to help build your brand. And I think it's kind of important. You shouldn't, for anybody that's building and thinking about wanting to build that brand, you always got to think like you're just always, it's, you don't ever get to, and we said this earlier, there's never an end point to it. You're always building new skills, honing your skills, getting better, continuing to put yourself out there. Yeah, it's an ongoing.
Yeah, I think you've got to invest in yourself. And what one of the reasons I wanted to do or add there's different things. So I used to go on stage and I used to be really nervous and I didn't really know where to stand, or there's just guys that you've seen on stage or girls on the stage in the past who just fucking own the stage, and you're like, they have a proper stage presence. And obviously the first thing I wanted to do was try and master that, and obviously that comes through confidence and all of that kind of stuff, because I think it shows if you're nervous on stage, just the way you're speaking, the way you look at the audience, interact with the audience. And I think I had to try and build up the stage presence first, but then from there, what else can I polish up on? How can I stand out from the 10 other speakers in my games? And I think being able to add or understand comedy or say something outrageous to get a reaction from the crowd, because they'll remember you. How do you stand out to guys that are all talking the same shit, all talking SEO? How do you fucking do that? Now you can obviously, you've seen me, and I've tried the swearing, controversial stuff, and that can work for you to some degree. But I think no one will ever really criticize comedy and stuff like that. So I think you're just trying different things, and I don't want to be coming across as a nasty piece of shit on stage either. That's certainly never ever anything that I want to do. So you just try different things to hone it. Hone your skills, because how do I stick out from you or Holly or the other guys on stage? And I think a lot of people will say I'm quite funny, quite controversial, but again, I need to double down and do it so that it's not insulting or anything like that. So the comedy thing is something I'm working on, and it's a little bit of a hobby, and hopefully it adds to the presentations and stuff like that.
Well, I think it definitely helps you become a better storyteller, right? And I think which you always captivate people with that. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to share, here's the question. You can think about it while I'm sharing, but did you ever have an experience when you're on stage or where you're doing something and you just like completely like bombed? I mean, not even bombed, but like you just really like just were horrible in presenting or something like that. And I'll tell you, something just happened with me this weekend, and I walked away from there like, oh my God. So I was asked, I'm the president of our Chamber of Commerce, and there's a big event that was happening this weekend, and I was asked to present an award at this kind of awards meeting they had on Saturday morning. I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'd love to. That would be great. And the person that was doing it was like, hey, I'll give you a short little script of what you'll read, and you can just, do a little ad lib in front of it if you want, just say a couple. I'm like, okay, great. I never even thought about it. I'm like, I get there that morning. I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm like, okay, I know what I'm going to say. I've like in my mind, I probably did it about 3 or 4 times. I get up there on stage. I don't know what all of a sudden my mind just went like, eh. And I'm like, and I was like, and I walked off, and then I just like, well, I'm just going to the script that they handed to me. And I'm like, at least I can read anyway, but I can't think. Now, it didn't help the night before. I was out with some friends when we went to they had like a reception the night before to this thing, and I had a couple of bourbons there, and then we went over to some friend's house and I had some more bourbons. So I wasn't necessarily on my A game Saturday morning, but oh geez, I walked away from there like embarrassed that I was just a befuddled doof.
Yeah. I have to answer your question. I have had ones that have bombed. One in particular was in London, and they asked me if I could speak about Black Hat SEO, and I was like, sure. So I was talking about all sorts of dodgy things, but I didn't really figure out the audience for myself, and that's why, again, I always say try and understand your audience. And no one knew what the fuck I was saying or what I was talking about. It was a room full of beginners who didn't really know what SEO was, let alone, you know, redirects and fucking grabbing domains and you know, all the kind of stuff that would be considered black hat. And there was a person on before me, and he'd done a very basic white hat talk, if you like, and I thought, that is fucking shit. I'm going to blow these motherfuckers away here. And people were just leaving the room in their droves when I was speaking. Fucking hell, what have I done? Which was quite embarrassing. But you know, the fact was, we just didn't understand what he was talking about, so we thought we'd go and get a beer. And fair enough, I won in the tin and move on from it. So yeah, I didn't really think about the audience. I just listened to the organizer who said, "Can you talk about this?" And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to hone in on this, and I'm going to fucking blow everyone away, and assumed everyone would know more than they did, and that didn't work. So
just nailed it. Maybe a last question I'll throw at you, and just in my thoughts is, you know, around personal branding, but the rise of AI and new digital platforms. How do you think some of that will play in? Would it have changed, like if you were thinking, you know, 10 years ago when you were thinking of building Craig Campbell SEO brand, would you have done anything different with if you had the tools of AI available?
no, not really. I don't think I would have. I've enjoyed doing it the hard way, if that makes sense, without having anything to leverage or cheat or go faster or whatever. And I think it's helped me understand all the little nuances that I had to go through and mistakes that I've made. But obviously AI is great. You know, you can do things a little bit better, faster, get ideas even just using AI and stuff like that. Am I ever going to go down the route of using AI video and stuff though? Absolutely not, because I think people still want a human being behind it. So I think we've got to use AI sensibly, and I'm not going to do it to replace myself, because hopefully people still want to hear stories and information and all that stuff. So, but I mean, it would have been good to have it, but I don't know if I would have missed out on a lot of the little things here and there that I've picked up along the way. So no, I'm quite happy we had done it, and I'm quite happy always making mistakes. So yeah.
Good enough. And talking about, I wanted to mention real quick, tomorrow on my show, Hot Off the Press, I've got a guy who is at Legit Live. His name is Andrew Mulls, and he is like a TikTok master, from a content and advertising, and how to effectively do lead gen and ads on TikTok. So I'm kind of excited to get him on and pick his brain about TikTok, because that is a platform I don't know. I've not done anything. I don't even have a TikTok account at all. Even personally, I've never really surfed around on it.
You're missing out, dude. Get on there. There's a lot of traffic on there.
I know there is. It's crazy. And I just saw, speaking of traffic, I just saw there was an article, maybe it was in the Wall Street Journal somewhere, that was just talking about the you know, how Google continues to lose search market share, you know, to these other platforms like TikTok. And like search ad revenue now is, or search ad space, like Google used to just dominate that thing, and now it's like less than 50%, which is crazy. TikTok is just jumped.
Yeah. Nah, got to get all over it, mate. All over it.
I know it.
But I know you've got a call, Randy, so I don't want to hold you. But guys, thank you for all of the information in the chat there. And people are talking away amongst themselves. Do check out the link below if you want to look at Randy, the News Guys PR services. So make sure you do check that out. Also like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back at the same time next week.
All right. Have a good week, everybody. Thank you.